Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'll be teaching you how to draft this princess dart bustier with a scallop neckline. If this is what you like to learn, please let's go into the tutorial and let me teach you how to make it. Thank you. So the first thing I'll do is I've marked my starting point, which is my shoulder line. So I'll go in by my shoulder measurement, which is the shoulder measurement I'm working with, which is 7 inches. I marked the neckline 3 inches. So I'll mark the armhole depth, which is 8 inches. I marked the armhole depth 8 inches. And I'll mark it on that side as well so I can get a straight line. So the next thing I'll do is to get my bust point, which is 9.5. The bust point I'm working with is 9.5 and I'll be marking it like so. To get my under bust line, I'll go down from the bust line by 3 inches. You can make use of 4 inches or 3.5 inches. It depends on the bust you're working with. I'm working with a small bust. That is why I'm using 3 inches. So the waist length is 15 inches, which is the half length I'm working with. And I'm going to connect the lines like this. I'm done connecting the lines, and the next thing I'll do now is I'm going to write my chest line, bust line, under bust line, my waist line, and I'll mark what I have there. I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and I'm going to connect the line like this. Then I'll mark what I have there, get the midpoint and mark it just like that. I'll come in by 1/2 inch. I get my curved my ruler to connect the point. The bust measurement I'm working with is 8.5 after dividing it by 4. 8.5 inches after dividing it by 4. And I'll mark it there. And I'll connect it with my ruler just like that. Trying to place the ruler very well. Please take your time to place it very well, especially if you are a beginner. Take your time to place it well just like that. So after that, now I'm going to get my nipple to nipple measurement. I'm going to divide it by 2. The nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with is 7 inches, and I'll divide it by 2. I got 3.5, and I've marked it from the bust point, the under bust point, and the waist length. So I'm connecting the line like so. So on this part that is in, I'll mark 1/2 inches and 1/2 inch, and on this part that is large, the armhole side, I'll mark 1.5 inches. If you're working with a bigger measurement, you can mark 3/4 or 1 inch on the other side. On this side that I have 1/2 inch, it depends on the bust you're working with. So I'll measure what I have on the armhole there and divide whatever I get by 2 and mark the midpoint. I'll divide it by 2 and mark the midpoint. And after dividing by 2, I got the midpoint, and I'm going to mark it now just like this. That is the midpoint of the armhole after measuring it. So I'm going to connect from that line to my bust point, just as you can see me doing now. I'm going to connect it like this. Then after connecting, I'm going to use my curved ruler to connect to curve the area, the under bust area, just like that. And I'll do the same to the other side as well. I'll do the same to the other side as well, just like so. Then the next thing I'll be doing now is to go up by 1/2 inch and down by 1/2 inch, just like that. Then I would blend in the lines just like that into the bust area. I'm going to blend it in like that. Please make sure you are blending it in. It enters into the bust line just like that. Then I'll come out by 1 inch from this area in order to not have a shortage of your fabric. If you did not come out like this, you might have a shortage of fabric. So it's better you have a little excess than having a shortage. So that is why you have to come out with 1 inch on that part. Mark, then my bust point, I mark my bust point, then I match it just like, connect the line just like that. So the waist measurement I'm working with is 7 inches. Then I mark that intake 2 inches and I connect it just like that. So I'm going to be shaping the blouse just like so, as you can see. So the next thing I'm doing is to come down by 1 inch for my bust dart. It depends on how big the bust you're working with is. You can come down by 1.5 inches, 2 inches, depending on how big. I'm working with a small bust actually, that's why I'm making use of 1 inch. So for my scallop neck, I'll be coming down by 6 inches. 6 inches, you can do whatever suits you, but I want to make use of 6 inches, just like so. So I'll be first marking like a sweetheart neckline. As you can see the way I curved my hand. The more you go in, actually, the bigger, I don't know how to say it, the more you go in with the shape, the bigger the scallop line is going to be showing. So you just come down by 1 inch from that part. I came in by 2 inches, then come down by 1 inch as a guard for me because that is where my curve line is going to be resting on, just as you can see. Just mark 1 inch down on a slant line, a little bit slant, just like this. Then you mark it like that. Then you curve in your hand just like this. Yes, curve it in like this, like that, like that, like that, and it will rest on the 1 inch that you came down by, just like that. I hope you understand. So that will be all basically for the front part, and what I'll be doing now is to cut it out. This is what I was trying to tell you the other time. The more you go in by the shape, the more you're going to be, the more the neck shape, the scallop neckline shape is going to come out. That is what I was trying to say. So I'm going to cut the neckline. It's actually a very simple tutorial, simple to cut. There is nothing really complex about it. Just pay attention and do what you are. Just do as I am doing like this. Yes, I hope you can see the way I'm cutting it. For the sake of I'm trying to show the part I'm cutting it because for the sake of the beginners that are watching. So you're just going to cut it like this. You're going to cut the dart out. That is why I've marked that area just like this. So I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to cut it straight like that. I'm going to stop it because of my bust dart. I do not want to have a shortage on that part. That is why. So I'm going to mark out that line, stretch it out just like this, then fold it in, fold my dart in just like this, and I'll tape it down. I'll tape it down now. So after taping it down just like this. Then I'll reconnect the lines. Please take your time and make sure that you are blending it. Make sure that it's blended. You blend it well in, just like this. It's just to avoid any shortage around that area. There is no way, if you did not tape it like this and cut it out like that, there's going to be a shortage in that area, especially when you have already cut it on the fabric. And please note that there is no allowance whatsoever on this pattern. If you want to cut it on your fabric, make sure you add your allowances, please. And this is it after we are done cutting. So we are going to go to the back now, and this is my back pattern, and I'm marking my 1.5 inches allowance for zipper. 1.5 inches zipper allowance. My 1.5 inch for zipper allowance. So the next thing I'll do is to mark my shoulder line. I'm coming down by 8 inches for my armhole. I mark it just like so. Connect it like that. My shoulder line is 7 inches, coming down by 1 inch. My neckline 3 inches. I'm connecting it like so. Connect it into the zip allowance. 1 inch for slope. Bringing it down like so. Then I'll mark my. Actually, I did not even need this bust measurement on this part. It's just a mistake marking it right there. So the measurements I actually need is my chest line measurement, which is the armhole line, and the waist measurement. And please note that the waist measurement I'm working with at the back now is 14 inches minus 1 inches. I made use of 15 inches at the front part, and remember that we have 1 inch of bust dart, so I've removed that. So the back waistline now is 14 inches and not 15 inches. The back waistline is always shorter than the front waistline. So I marked my 3.5 inches for the nipple to nipple measurement on the back as well, and I'll be connecting the lines just like this, as you can see. Then I'll mark my dart line 1/2 inch on both sides, just like this, and I'll connect to the chest line just like this. You can use 3/4, 1 inch for the back. It depends on how big your client is, the client you're working with. So for my budge for the back budge not to be there, I came in by 1/2 inch from the zipper allowance on the waistline. Then I'll be connecting it just like this, as you can see, in order to avoid our zipper budge, to have a perfect waistline, a perfect fit at the waistline. So I came in by 3/4 on this. I came in by quarter inch on that part. I marked my bust measurement, and I'll be connecting the armhole just like so, as you can see. After connecting it, that is basically, then I want to mark I want to style the back now. You can style it according to however you feel like. This is how I want to style the back for my own customer, my client. So I'll be blending it into the zipper allowance just like this. Then I'll measure. This is the back after I've styled it. You can style it anyhow you feel like, anyhow you like. So the waist measurement is 7 inches plus 1 inch for zipper, and I'll just connect the lines like this, and that is basically everything for the back pattern. As you can see, it's looking all good and nice, and I'm cutting it out just like so. You can actually style that neck anyhow you wish, anyhow you like. I'm styling it like this. You can still even make the scallop neck at the back if you wish, or if your client decides that is what they want. So just do whatever suits you or suits your client. So this is the back pattern after I'm done. This is it. This is what it's looking at, and I hope you understand and you like it. It's looking all good and nice. This is how I've styled it. So I'll be cutting it on fabric, and this is after I cut the front pattern on the fabric, and this is what it looks like. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. Please like my page, like my videos. Thank you. I'll see you on the next one.